thought aspect ratio changes.
I have to remember to press record.
Well, you could press it now if you want. It's gonna count as in. That's how I keep track of all of this.
I have started recording.
3, 2, 1, go. Alright. Cool. I don't know. I've been deciding whether or not between doing the intro anymore or not. I don't know if I'm gonna do it anymore. You know, let's do it today. Hello all. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Art Talk. Welcome back to Art Talk. Sorry, it's been a minute. I'm kind of rusty at this, but it's fine. It's Don again. No, it's been a minute, but sorry.
You don't gotta apologize for the time at which you make art.
Yeah, it was a half-hearted apology. They knew it's fine. But I'm here today with Ken. Do you want to go Ken the artist with it?
Either one is fine. I mean, yeah, I'm currently figuring out what I want my art name to be, but so many people know me as KenThatArtist and also Ken, so it's like, yeah, either one.
But yeah, we're back with another podcast episode. This is the first time Ken has been on the channel, but this isn't our first time recording a video. Technical difficulties are crazy. You're supposed to be like the second episode.
Yeah.
Now you're episode 10.
Yeah, it's been a thing. You've been busy. I've been busy.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, more technical difficulties. It's life.
Been a real process trying to figure this out, but yeah. So I guess you can sort of give a rundown for yourself first, and then from there we can go. So you want to
Just get started.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm Ken. Or KenThatArtist. That is also my Instagram handle if you're curious on what my artwork looks like. At KenThatArtist, ThatArtist. With Ken in front of it. And yeah, I'm starting to think of myself more as a mixed media artist, but I mostly do painting, charcoal drawing, and poetry. That's like my big 3 items at the moment. I work in book production, so I might want to make some books pretty soon. Other than that, yeah, I'm just exploring art in all kind of ways, but I'm doing a lot of drawings at the moment. That's the plan, and I'm also still in school. Once I am finished, you will see more of me. Hello.
Right. Alright, cool. I know you wanted to talk about your drawings that you've been working on, so I guess from there I wanted to ask you about more so your process and everything. I wanted to ask you, I guess, from origin of idea to completion, how do you go about it?
Ooh. That's actually a really funny question because I'm working on a drawing now that it's been a minute since I hopped in my artwork, and now I'm like trying to remember what the process is like. And yeah, I think it starts with a lot of drawing, and it also, something else I've thought about that is interesting on how I start and do process through my artwork is through all of my last few classes I've taken, I've started to realize and communicate about my artwork that I make art to process life. Yeah. I don't make art necessarily just to express or just because I feel like I like want to make art, but I feel like I kind of need to process what is going on in my head. And sometimes that's a personal thing, sometimes it's a life thing. So along with that, I find myself like journaling a lot, so I like journal and write down a lot. And that will help me process what I want to make art about. And my sketchbook is starting to look more like a journal than a sketchbook. So I write a lot. So that is like the beginning process, and then I like move through like a sketch, like a really rough sketch, I learned to let go of perfectionism and just kind of like have fun, make marks and lines, which is why I'm enjoying drawing a lot.
Yeah.
Just let loose a little bit more. And then I'll look for reference. Reference is kind of the hardest and also most fun part. Reference right now for me is a little difficult, but I would prefer like getting people I know and just making the reference images versus like searching the internet.
I feel like I was doing that a lot more before. Now it's hard to get people. Everyone's so busy to where, you know, you kind of gotta either be your own reference. That's partially why I got the camera. It was just easier to be self-referential that way.
Yeah, and if it was up to me, I would like pay people for the time too. Like, oh, if you're missing out on something because I asked you to do this, I would love to pay you for your time to be here. Because you're helping me. You're not really getting anything from this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think about that and be considerate.
Yeah, this thing is annoying. Kind of, it keeps pausing in the middle of my conversation, but it's fine. Whatever. It'll work out in the end. What was I about to say? Yeah, as far as, I don't know, the hardest thing for me has been like conceptualizing. If that makes, like, you might have an idea, but how do you make that a metaphor that translates? That's always been the hardest part for me when it comes to creating. Like, right now I've been working on this project where I'm like using paper bags instead of like people's heads, and it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be representative of like how people are afraid to like show themselves through their act, even while they're like going about their days and whatever. Like how they used to wear like paper bags at football games and that type of thing.
They used to do that?
Yeah, back when the Saints like really sucked, they would like come to games in like paper bags.
Wow, I'm missing out on some lore in my own city.
But
Wow.
no, it was like a real thing. Like people would would go to the games. You'd see it on TV. You'd see the people with the paper bags on their heads. It's like something you could Google and you'll see a bunch of pictures of it. But yeah, so I don't know. Even in doing that, like the first drawing I did for a painting, I was like sitting trying to figure out the idea, and I've reached the point to where like I don't really know what to do with the background or anything like that, because beyond just like the main subjects, I end up kind of lost in terms of how to translate the rest of the idea, you know?
Yeah. I think about something, because I do that a lot too. Like, if you look at my artwork and you look closely, I like don't have like an actual environment. Like, it's just kind of like whatever, like you said, it's kind of whatever is going on or whatever's supposed to be the focus. But I think I'm learning to love the fact that I don't need like an environment unless it correlates to like my idea. I've been starting to think about the drawings and the concepts as like the full drawing. And it's because of one of my professors being like, I had so many ideas for a drawing. I actually conceptualized too much, and I had like so many things I wanted to put in there. And basically, my advice, the advice I was given was like, what fits what you're trying to say right now? And that helped me organize. Like, okay, I could add this, and this does go with this, but this is not particularly the thing I was trying to talk about in this moment.
Yeah.
But I can explore that in another piece of artwork.
No, definitely. I was in the same place to where I was a lot of my paintings backgrounds are typically abstract. Like this is the first time I've done a painting where I did an actual underpainting for it.
Yeah. Whereas
Typically I'll just do like some random abstract painting as the base, and then I'll draw whatever I'm trying to do over it. Like I might insert some of the pictures of what I'm referring to, but
insert pictures.
pictures insert here. But a lot of the time it'll just be random abstract background, and then whatever the subjects are, they are. But I don't know, part of me wants to be able to sort of like put a distinct background to it sometimes, just to be able to have that ability to do so, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how to include this, because like, for example, I'm trying to make a drawing about gun violence. I was talking to you about that earlier.
Yeah.
But to me, the part that matters is the gun violence. But
Right.
like, I think my question always, like, where I struggle with it is, I feel like I just struggle to make the environment, but also like how, like, I feel like I don't want to make something that's going to take away from what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I was thinking about the gun violence thing, I was like, okay, part of my idea is that gun violence also destroys homes and families and memories. So maybe my background could be, like, it doesn't have to be set in reality. If I wanted to go a little bit more realistic, I would have, like, a broken home behind whatever is going on to talk about what I was talking about, and the idea that, like, homes are broke, or, like, the destruction of memories. Maybe, like, I don't know, the image could be in the photo itself and be a little ripped up, and that's the drawing. So that becomes the setting. Like, it's, like, stuff like that to kind of, like, play around with. And I think going abstract is a little bit more, like, that gives you more freedom, so things don't have to feel so rigid when you make them.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been going through this thing of, like, I've been wanting to like, check out different styles artistically, just to figure out, like, ways to, like, grow and develop, because I feel like the artists that I always see, what's the word I want to use? The artists I always see expand and, like, get bigger and are able to showcase their stuff more are people that are able to have a level of uniqueness to their art that stands out from everyone else's. And so I've been, like, just playing around with different things, like harsh shadows, or trying to figure out, like, there's this one painter I've been looking at a lot recently, and they'll do a base painting of just, like, the actual skin colors and all that, and then they'll, like, add these elements of, like, just, like, a green somewhere, or, like, they'll just, like, accent the body with, like, these different colors, and it creates this sort of ethereal element to it, which I think is really cool. But they're stylistically, the way that they paint, their brushstrokes and everything is so vastly different from mine, to where I'm trying to figure out how do I even implement something like that without it being jarring. And is jarring even bad, honestly? But I've been grappling with that a lot.
This is gonna sound like, I think something I've been revisiting lately is, when did we stop becoming students of our artwork? Like, what I mean by that is, like, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, when I saw a piece of artwork that I liked, I wasn't trying to implement it to show it off immediately. Yeah. I would just practice it because I cared about what it looked like.
Right.
And so I would just make it in my own time. I wouldn't have to post it or, like, you know, like, be like, oh, I'm trying to do exactly what you're doing. No, I just want to figure out how you did that.
Yeah.
And when you take that time to figure out what you like about it, then you're able to, like, implement it without looking weird, because you're not trying to be that person or trying to rush the process, but you're, like, figuring out what part of whatever it is that they have that you like and looks good with you.
Yeah, I think part of it is because we started having to deal with the expenses of making art, and so now we're, like, a lot more precious with our materials. So it's a lot harder to be experimental when you're like, dang, I'm using, like, $1.25 worth of this $20 paint tube, and, like, I'm using it without like expressly trying to make something that I can make money off of afterward, you know?
Fair enough. It's like the age-old question. It's like, not question, but, like, the sacrifice of being an artist, because it's like, I want to, like, you get the value of your art by doing that process, but you have to, like, it takes so much sacrifice to get to that point.
Yeah. No, I definitely get what you mean. It's so weird because now we're in a place where we have to look at these things as a business more so than just something that we enjoy. And so, like, I was talking to Paul the other day. He's a friend of mine I met through Darren, and he's like, he creates, like, short form videos, and he's getting into long form videos right now. But he's always talking to me about like making a business, getting a business account, so that way I'm able to write things off, this, that, and the other. And it's like I don't even know if I'm at the place to where like I can actually do those things, mainly because like I'm not actively making a profit off of anything. So like writing it off, I'm terrified of the IRS. Like, oh, this isn't a write-off.
No, you can't write this off, man.
Yeah. So you never know when like the cutoff is. So I think part of it is just like being underinformed on my part. But you know, it's also just it's that fear of like, dang, I'm not prepared right now to be able to do any of that because I haven't seen any results. You know.
Yeah. In this regard, something I've been thinking about from the book I was telling you about earlier is that it brought up mentors. And it's like it's crazy because I'm talking to someone who has a mentor in some degree.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like but like what I mean by that is if I don't understand like how to businessify my art or be an artist that can be an artist that has a business but still be an artist.
Right.
Like, then I feel like that's where mentorship would come in. But I think that still falls in the realm of like being underinformed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is also why earlier I was talking about, this is behind the camera kind of conversation stuff, but it's like I talked about earlier when we were on the way here that I'm kind of learning how to adult more than I am learning or practicing being an artist.
Yeah.
And it's really because like that's like the side of things that falls in the adult side of things for me, like how to run a business, how to do this, how to manage my money in this way, how to make a profit, how to advertise myself, and all of that stuff. Is like that falls into like business side of it. Yeah. And like I'm trying to also get to the point where I feel like I'm having fun being an artist, in the business side of it just falls into my adult life, so it doesn't feel like it's a caveat with my art. It's just kind of like my life and part of my responsibilities.
Yeah, I don't know, it's interesting because I remember I was talking to my uncle the other day, and he was talking about a guy that he works with and how he was how the guy wants to like get into music, but he's like working the job trying to make sure everything's right before he does it. And he was saying your 20s are meant for you to sort of just go into your dream, and then in your 30s that's when you can be like serious and stuff if it doesn't work out. But I don't, it's so weird because it feels like you're trying so hard to like I feel like I'm half-stepping in terms of like looking at going after my dreams to a certain extent, because like I'm trying to do like the secure thing, so like family and whatever doesn't worry, but at the same time I like hate the secure thing. It's not even fun. It's in no way enjoyable.
Not at all.
I want to be able to like go fully head on into whatever thing I'm dreaming about, and then if it doesn't work out, then at like 35, I'll like sit down and get an office job and do that. But like, what's the point of living if you're just gonna sit around and do a job that you hate every day until you turn 60, and then you die at the age of like 75? So you only have 15 years to really do what you want.
Fair enough. That is a great point.
I hate the idea that like you have to make sure that you're being a good professional and you get like this whatever kind of job, and then if the side thing works out, then great. But like, I don't know, the entire concept of a plan B kind of sucks to me, because it's like, dang, if you always got this safety net on the side, then are you ever really gonna fully go for it, you know?
Yeah, I think what's funny is I feel like a lot of artists feel like this. I feel like a lot of us feel like this. Like we have something on the side, and it's like we want to go further at like into our art. But I think, or something that I've been thinking about, or I've been feeling necessarily, is that I'm not making the steps far enough to go into the plunge. Like, for example, I have my studio. If I really wanted to, I would be in my studio and I would have an not accurate, but like stable, just studio practice. And I don't even mean like I have to be in there crunking out art every day. Yeah. Like, just like if I showed up to my studio at a consistent time all the time, like, I don't know, doing the steps I need to like read certain books to gain certain information, or keeping up with certain artists, which we talked about that earlier, like how to keep up with people, and like that being a conflict with like my personality. It's like all of that is like the steps we need to do, but it's also like, how do I do that in my way?
Yeah. It's like going to the gym where like the hardest part is showing up, and then from then you end up getting and doing something eventually.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for me. Or I'll see like whatever I'm working on just sitting there, and I'll like walk past it every day, and maybe one day I'll come in and do a little bit of something and then get out. But the practice of constantly working at something, it gets I don't know, it weighs on you after a while, because you end up sort of going through the experience of both being like, I'm not doing anything, so I'm wasting my time, but at the same time, like, man, I don't want to walk in there and just work on something and then I end up hating it, and then I'm like, dang, I just messed up this thing because I tried to force myself to do it, you know?
Yeah. This is probably going to sound like a contradiction to everything I said before this, but something I realized that works for me is that I can't rush anything. I can't, like, I can try as hard as I can to work on something, and it will not happen, and I just sit there and I'm like, why am I not doing the thing? But also, like, I just think that when we take more time, you can't like rush your art that you're making, and no one can make art like you. So when you take the time to actually check in with yourself, that is when you make the truest art that you make. Right. And so like if I can't, let's say I'm in the studio for 1 week, and that's the only week I'm making art, versus like there's 4 weeks after that I'm not making any art, but all I'm doing is thinking about the things that I want to do in the artwork that I want to create. Right. That leads into my one productive week because all of my thoughts are like a little bit more realized. They're a little bit like, I've thought about them so long that I get to the point where I need to work on this. I need to do this. Like, I feel like that is just like my schedule, and I'm learning how to love that within myself, low key, because I really do that. I will sit in my studio and be like, dang, I don't know what to do. Start watching YouTube and freaking listening to music and just dancing in there, and then I leave. It's like 8 p.m. I'm like, dang, I didn't do anything. But then I get home and I'm like, oh, I want to do this now. Oh, here's this connection. Like, my brain just starts making dots to things.
That's one thing I want to do more of. I want to start making things out of like the idea of liking something or enjoying something, rather than, I feel like for a while I was making art where it would just be like, oh dang, I'm upset about this thing, let me make this, I'm upset about this thing. And so I ended up in a place where all I could do is make art that's upsetting. And it's weird. I don't want to make art because of its ability to sell, but at the same time, I understand that people aren't trying to buy something that's like, dang, I'm a little bit depressed seeing this, you know? So it's a weird dichotomy. Like, even now, the stuff I'm making, it's not overtly upsetting, but it's based on like an idea that's somewhat sad, if that makes any sense.
I'm like, okay, I'm that friend that will tell you to do it. I am that person, because I really believe that I've been having like personal conversations about stuff like this, but if I'm a sad person, bro, you signed up for this. If you don't like it, go look at different art, or just like, you know, you don't have to interact with me, but like, the people who have felt what I have felt or feels like the same sadness, because I just think that all of that is a part of me being human and a part of me. So if you want my artwork, you probably should pay attention to the ups and downs of me making my artwork, which
Right.
like, again, our artwork is like a reflection of us. It's our perspective of life. So like, if I'm contorting my perspective to what you want, that's not my art anymore.
Yeah.
That's just you.
No, you're definitely right. I don't. That's the biggest struggle, is finding the people that want. Like, where are the people that like the slowed? Where are the slowed and reverb people for art? Like, everyone wants like the sad version of a song, so they slow it and add reverb, and so they find it on YouTube. Where's that version for people that like to buy art? For me, like, because none of my stuff is overly like expressive, I think
The thing is, you have to set that up. That's why I was talking earlier about like how I want to change my Instagram, because my Instagram right now is like all of my poppy art, all of like my art that's like real colorful, and I'm like, I don't feel real colorful right now.
Yeah.
Our country is not in a place that I feel comfortable. All of my art has been about that. It's all charcoal and me being like, I'm black in America. None of it is colorful and happy.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. So like, if I'm portraying, I guess my point is like, if I'm throwing out that artwork, then I'm not getting the audience that I want, because I'm not showing that artwork.
Yeah, I definitely think you should make a separate Instagram, because I think having that dichotomy and being able to split that between two Instagrams is really, I think that'd be cool.
Oh really? You think I should have two like art
I think you
art
should have
Instagrams?
one for when he's like, this is my serious stuff, and this is the area for.
Here's my really heavy artwork I've thought about for a year.
Yeah. It's like how dang, I'm trying to think of a good example to compare this to. I don't know. It's like how people will have an album, and this album would be like the really heavy album, and they'll have the album where it's like, this is just a fun song. This is just me having a blast.
I'm just messing around, man.
Yeah, like, this is just me enjoying myself. So I think it's like it's a similar concept. I think, at least I think that'd be a cool idea to do. I don't know if you like, I don't know what you name it, but
Yeah, that's the kind of difficult part, I guess. I have been thinking about, like, for all y'all out there, do not take these words for granted, or like, you know, these are whatever. But I have thought about like another name for myself, for poetry at least, and the name is like Just Call Me Ken. So it's like, when I say the name enough, I feel like people would, like, I'm literally telling you to call me Ken.
Yeah.
But that is also like my like alias.
right.
And so I'm still telling you to call me Ken, and that I'm still Ken. So you're like, Ken that artist, Ken, just call me Ken. It's all the same person.
Right.
So I don't have to, like, you know, make another one or like another alias or something like that.
Yeah.
But I have definitely thought about this splitting of my artwork, because I've kind of always been like that. Because it's a reflection of my personality. I'm like really goofy and stuff, but I'm also like, when I get serious, I get really serious. So I'm gonna be like, oh, this thing is sad. Oh, I was depressed last week. Blah 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 blah. So like, I always do that, and I've been thinking about like that for my website, and I've been wanting to set up something for my website first. Like maybe like I have two websites, or like a website page specifically dedicated to my more colorful and playful art. But like, as a studio practice and as a like gallerist, like kind of artist, you would just see most of my heavy artwork, because that's the artwork I feel like should be shown.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that to make a profit off of it, but I want it to be seen, and I would love for it to get me opportunities. Yeah, but I feel like that brings me to another thought of mine, which I'm starting to think that making money as an artist and being known as an artist are separate.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know that there's like people who make a bunch of money, but they make art specifically for like people that are like do interior and design and that type of thing.
We need to find collectors.
Yeah. It's crazy. You want to know something so crazy? I remember back a couple years ago when I had to go to the doctor because I had hurt myself at work, and so I went, and we ended up talking about my art stuff, and he was like, yeah, I'm a collector. He gave me the Instagram. Like, I'm gonna reach out to you so we could buy some stuff. And
Nice.
Like, he was telling me about all the different pieces that he had bought. He never got back to me.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm like, I need to meet people who are actually serious. It's hard finding people who are serious about like the thing and not just saying like, oh yeah, let me buy some of your stuff. That's the hard part.
And then so the thing is, what precedes you getting the attention of those people though is that you have to make the artwork that you want to make and also show it.
Right.
Like that's why I said, like, if you want to make artwork that is like, a little bit more expressive and you have a particular style that you want to study and do all of that stuff, do it and take the time to really do it, because that is how, like, once you start showing it, you become known for that thing, and that is what you are stood out because of that, and now people understand and know you, which gets the attention of collectors. So when a collector brings up your name or they really like your artwork, people will know it has value, like all of that stuff. But it's like, that is the weird part. It's like, I need to have stability from a collector or someone who supports my artwork, but I need to show and stabilize my artwork to get that attention.
Yeah, there's no longer just the Catholic Church backing artists anymore. And
I'm happy, because I wouldn't be happy with that.
But like, there's no version of that anymore. It feels like there's like
no patronage.
Where are the rich people that are like, hey, I'm just trying to see how much stuff you can do. But ultimately, that just ends up being like, hey, can you propagandize on my behalf? So it's like a double-edged sword in that sense. But like,
that's why I also brought up mentors, because mentors get your foot in the door, as in like a specific kind of mentor can get your foot in the door, as in like they know people who like a specific kind of artwork because they already have a stabilized practice. So they could, on your behalf, be like, I know this young artist who is doing this, that, and the third, and now you have a foot in the door in that sense. So like, that is another reason why having a mentor would be interesting. But like, finding a mentor like that is like finding a job that fits you. Yeah. Like, I can't just be like a random person, I want a mentor under you. Like, I have to find someone who cares about my artwork, who I want to learn from, someone who would take the time to teach me those things, who I could ask those kind of questions.
Yeah, it's a hard needle to thread, because like I've learned a lot from Josh, but also Josh is a different type of artist from who I am. Like, he does a lot more in photography than I do. Like, I've just recently started doing more photography based stuff, and that's more so like a different type of thing from, like, I'm not doing art photography in the same sense that I'm like painting or drawing or anything, So I don't know, finding someone where that niche matches up is been a challenge. I don't even know where to start necessarily. Like, I was trying to do it through the what's it called? I can't even think. I was gonna say LinkedIn. That's not what I mean. Whatever thing it is for like networking through whatever app, whatever thing that is. But I tried that, didn't work. It was like, I had one conversation with a person, but I don't know, I felt weird vibes from them. Stopped talking to them.
I'm trying to talk to you, but you're being weird. Bye.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. Also, just broaching that conversation, finding someone that you like sort of synergize with to that level. There's like so many obstacles to it, to where I haven't even put too much thought into it, honestly. I've just been like kind of like figuring it out as I go along,
I'm gonna tell you, like, something I've thought about doing to do this was, I am also the type to DM artists on Instagram.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get responses and sometimes I don't. But when I do get a response, I have been thinking about, like, I only want to reach out to people whose artwork I feel like would be a good fit for me. And even though that sounds like selfish and weird, it's because I know that I want to build a connection with you, in the sense that, like, I want to know more about your artwork because I'm interested in it, but also I would love to learn from you if I got the chance to. But I also have thought about, like, for example, going to a gallery space and being like, yo, I like your collection of artists. The first question could be, could I, like, intern here at the gallery or something. Like, can I have like I'm not just intern, but like, what is the other one? My words escape me. Apprenticeship.
Oh, okay.
Like, so I get an understanding of the gallery space or something like that. And the reason why I bring up the artists of galleries is because when you have a gallery space that has a specific collection of artists, like, let's say I like one of the specific artists, I could be like, this artist I would love to connect to, and I can talk to the gallery because they have connections with that artist.
Yeah.
And I could be like, I would love to learn from this artist. Could you help me get in contact with them? Do you have like an email or something like that? So I don't have to be like, Instagram, DM, random. You're probably not looking at this Instagram.
Yeah, I definitely got to do a better job of like the footwork side of it. Yeah, that's the right word, I think. Footwork.
See, my problem is I think about all of this and I don't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I end up in such a place like I gotta figure out like how to make more content from. I gotta make art and then like be able to make content while I'm making the art, so that way. And I don't know. Then you gotta like make the content dynamic. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, let me just finish the thing and then I'll make it dynamic afterward. Like, like most of like the promotional stuff I've done for my art is like I'll do like a little video or skit or something once the painting's actually done. And because like, but people were so like into wanting to see the process part of it, and it was like, it sounds like a lot of work, and it's like it's actually taking me out of my process to do so.
Yeah, because I was doing that a lot when I was doing like the pianos and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the pianos and stuff was like my prime of like uploading stuff, making captions, capturing people's attention, all of that stuff at the same time. But also, I ain't gonna lie, that burnt me out like a mug. I got done with those and I was like, I don't have the energy for this anymore. Yeah. But the thing about doing that and doing the process I've thought about is I think the only way to like do it is to just do it enough to where you get used to it. And you also have to set up a schedule. Like, for example, when I was posting on Instagram a lot, I would schedule my posts. I would do it all on like one day or something. Like, I would record it for like 1 week, let's say, and then the next week I would like make the captions and stuff I wanted to say with them and also edit the videos, and then I would post them at a specific time and just schedule it.
That's what I was doing for a while. I hated the idea of it being repetitive, and I ended up posting basically the same type of thing over and over again.
Yes.
And I never want to be that person to where it doesn't feel dynamic or it doesn't feel like I like the way marketing agencies are able to sort of just like put like a new dynamic thing out depending on each piece, each product that they're trying to like get people to sell. And that's really all I want to be able to do with my Instagram account, is be able to like put together some sort of thing where like I'm producing it to the best of my ability and like making it tailored to whatever piece I'm trying to promote.
What's funny is I'm trying to do that now as well, even though I said I'm not using my Instagram or I'm trying to set up my website and all that stuff. That's kind of why I'm doing that, because I feel like I'm reaching a shift in myself as an artist, and I'm like, I need to promote the thing that I'm trying to do.
Yeah. And
I need to do it in a way that both feels like me, but also can, like, it's actually going to have, like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it will have feedback. It will catch attention. It will be, like, people will interact with it. Like, all of that kind of stuff. Right. And, I
don't want to do the thing where, there's this new trend, and now I'm just going to somehow incorporate the trend into my thing. Like, I don't want to... Have you seen the thing where it's like your significant other has like a thing that they're really interested in?
Yeah, and they're like, shut up and listen.
Yeah, I don't want to do that for my art. I don't want to be like, hey, I got this thing, watch it.
But the weird thing is, no one else will do that except for you, because you're the artist.
Yeah. I don't mean like I don't want to like tell people about my thing. I mean like I literally don't want to do that trend and have that be the way I promote my art.
Ah.
Like I want to be able to do something more interesting than that. Like That's why I like coming up with skits for my stuff and being like, yo.
Yeah, everyone who's doing skits, like Andre, for example.
Yeah.
Andre is the perfect example of like being able to make a skit and it just be like interactive, funny, but also like gets to the point of like, oh, I'm doing this show. Oh, I got this new thing coming out. Y'all should really get one. Like, that's a perfect example. But the thing that works about that though is what I was talking about earlier about Andre. The thing about Andre is that he's just himself. Yeah. Like, he's just being himself when he promotes it. He's not like, I need to do this trend because I really need y'all. I really need to sell this. His personality and the way that he shows up as himself in his art is exactly what like carries him through being an artist.
Right.
Like, he's like, if you know him, you just want to support him because you know him.
Right.
You like his art and you know him. That's support.
No, I feel you. It's like reached a point to where I'm like, dang, I haven't. What was the last thing I made was the thing where I did the photo shoot, and I'm like, I sat down. I actually enjoyed the process of like, dang, how do I make this interesting? How do I instead because originally, like, I didn't want to just post like the behind the scenes of me shooting it, but how do I make it dynamic? How do I make it something that I'd actually like instead of it just being like 3 random iPhone videos behind the scenes of me shooting this, and like and the worst part is like I'll just post like random pictures of myself on Instagram and that'll get more likes. Why? There's no reason for y'all to be liking this and not like the actual like thing that took time.
Oh my goodness.
Like everything's become TikTok to where it's like it's to pick up your phone and like just talk to your phone, and that's way more appealing to people. And I'm sitting here like I'm trying to like make short films in order to get you people's attention, and y'all sitting around like, nah, I'd rather hear someone do the thing where they try and like pronounce a word to make it turn into the shape so it goes through the hole. I'm just like,
For this one, I have thought about this, and this is like because I watched a video about this on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't remember the person. I wish I did. I'm sorry. I will be paraphrasing, so it's not just like I'm just talking and I'm just taking credit for it. But I did hear this from someone else, and this is like just random stuff I think about and have learned from other people. But I think the thing is we try to do everything on one platform, whereas like
you gotta spread it out.
Yeah, you have to spread it out and use each one in a specific way.
I just made TikTok not long ago. I'm so bored. TikTok, I don't understand the hype.
See, that's another thing. Just go on there and do what you need to do and delete. But
I don't know if that's the way the account thing is made anymore.
Really?
I think it's like made to where you have to be like also very interactive, which is like not my thing at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be on TikTok. I have like one video on TikTok.
I got like
and it's still up.
I got 4.
Oh my goodness. By the way, my TikTok is the same. Not like I have anything posted. I have one goofy video of a commission I did for some of my friends. Is when I had locks. Have fun.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put everything in the link.
But for example, you're doing a good job already because you're the thing is you're doing like videos and YouTube and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, and you're getting your foot in there, and YouTube is more for the people who want to know more about like the words, the process. Let's say you have a longer form video of the process, so you don't have to do so many cuts and edits and span it out. And then the cool thing is if you do a video on YouTube, right, you can take some of the edits you did for the YouTube video and then just post that.
That's what I've been doing. That's like, I gotta actually finish. I was chopping up the video I did with Rowan, and I'm like, each time we're like sort of in a segment, I've taken that segment and I'm making it into like TikTok's format, so that way it fits in the frame, it's not awkward shaped and all that. And I'm trying to get better at like, that reminds me, I have to get a calendar, because the phone calendar thing just isn't for me. I realized
I avoid looking at my phone. And that's why it fails me.
I'll like see the notification pop up and I'll just swipe up on it and be like, okay, I saw it now, I'll remember it, and then you don't remember.
Forget later
I
on.
need like a physical calendar, I realized. But like, I think I lost my point. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh yeah, like trying to manage all of these different things ends up to where I'm like, okay, I'm reaching the point where I'm overwhelmed now, because like you have to be like a multi-facing entity just in order for like one thing to catch on, and you hope that one thing like gets other people to do the other things. And every time I see someone who's actually like does that for a living, to where they're on all these platforms, they always say it doesn't cross over. It doesn't. You just are building your platforms independently of one another, essentially, and you're hoping like, hey, all these things independently are going to get people to come to like the thing that you really want them to come to. Like
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
comedians will do that, to where they'll post a clip on all their different platforms and then be like, okay, hopefully like a certain percentage of each of these will come to the show.
Basically, yeah, because you have a different audience on each one, which is like why.
And they don't cross pollinate.
Yeah. Like, I would love to. I've been wanting to do YouTube videos for a while. I've never figured out how I want to set it up though, because
honestly, just go for it. That's all I did, was just start making videos.
Yeah, I need to
I'm like
invest in the
slowly
camera.
cultivating the way I want to do it over time.
Yeah.
Like, this is sort of the third iteration of it, maybe I call it, because now I'm starting to like try and like make it a bit more story-esque. Like, that's why I was like trying to record some stuff in like the studio earlier to add in. I want to at some point get a shot of like the space that we're in currently. I want to like, I'm probably gonna do a setup shot where I'm talking about like some of the things that I was contemplating when coming into this, all that type of stuff. I'm trying to be a bit more storyteller in making this, instead of like before I was just like turning on the camera and talking to it.
Something I just thought about.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day because this goes into what you were just saying. I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers about why does no one want the context of art anymore? Like, it's like you just want to see
what it is.
Yes, like you just want to see the artwork, but if I like, no one wants to read about what it's about.
Yeah.
No one wants to know the further information. Like, if I don't know, like for example, my drawings right now have boxes in them. Like, it's a simple thing, but like it's not simple to me. I've thought about it a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a real symbol in my artwork. But basically, I'm just trying to say that. Yeah, that was crazy. That sound messed me up. But I have thought about like putting the context of my drawings on like in a story format, like a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So it's not like you see the post of the drawing, and if you wanted more context about the drawing,
right,
or whatever, you could go to YouTube, and then I'll be sitting down being like, yo, showing you a time lapse of the process or something, and be like, the context behind this is that, I don't know, one day I was just mad, and then mad turned into, dang, I'm thinking about it crazy. It's going kind of cool. But yeah, I think that I want to talk about the context because I'm a very like context oriented person.
Yeah.
I like having more information involved in the art making, and I even like doing that for other artists. I want to know, okay, you did this with this tool or blah blah blah, but why did you make it?
Right.
Why did you sit down and put like hours into this? Okay, you did it because of like, I don't know, so and so. But even deeper, like what connection does this have to you? Oh, my family did this when I was younger. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I've realized people just want to ask, like, they'll either ask you directly, hey, what's this thing about? I hate how people don't want to put the work in to figure it out anymore, or like interpret it for themselves.
Fair enough, yeah.
Nobody wants to figure anything out, and it like kind of like makes it suck for me. I don't like the idea that people are just kind of sitting going, this thing, what's it about? Or otherwise they're just not gonna try at all.
Yeah.
Like, no one tries to like find their own interpretation in it or anything like anymore. And I feel like that's kind of what art was built around, even if they didn't get a direct idea.
Dog, I was thinking about this earlier because I think I was working on like I have another, like I was sketching out drawings other than my current drawing I'm working on, and I was like, I kind of want this one to be ambiguous. I want you to look at this and be like, what is happening? Because like I don't have to tell you all of the information. I have symbols for myself, but like at the end of the day, everyone has a different meaning when they show up and look at artwork. And I actually used to, like, a lot of artists, when I was showing stuff, like, I feel like everyone had a thing with me where it was kind of like, you should go up and talk about your artwork. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna let them look at it and figure it out themselves. And then, like, I would talk to them after they looked at it and then ask them questions like, what did you see in this? Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't even introduce myself as the artist. I would just talk to them like, yo, what you think of this? What, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll be like, I'm the artist. And then they'll be like, so why'd you make this? Like, yeah. And so, like, in a way, that's kind of like how I succeed as an artist. And because that is how I do things, I know I cannot do the same process as other artists because I just function a different way.
Yeah. I just don't like the idea that, like, people will look at people are looking at the thing at a very surface level, from a very surface level perspective, and I don't know, they remove all concepts of nuance or any real thought put into it. Like, people used to look at, like, there are people who get whole entire art history degrees, and you're telling me you're going to an art gallery or some event just to look at it, just to see what looks pretty. I don't know. That's
yeah.
Because it's one thing if you're just looking at it on Instagram. Instagram, I get it. You're just scrolling. But, like, you go in person to an art event and you're just looking around, not asking any questions, not being in any way sort of, like, interactive with the art. And it feels pointless at a certain point, you know?
Yeah. I had a really good experience at Spillman and Blackwell. And I can't remember her name, dang it. One of the curators was there, either Spillman or Blackwell. I forgot who I talked to. I'm sorry. Names in my brain don't work. But we talked about, basically, I was looking at the exhibition that was currently up, and I went with Fallon, and we took our time going around the space and looking at everything, and we took so long looking at each piece. And I remember we got to the back to talk to the curator, and they asked us, like, y'all artists, huh? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, because you're taking your time looking at the artwork. And I was like, yeah, I want to have context. I'm having fun, like, figuring out what is going on or appreciating each individual piece that went into it. Like, there was a lot of collage, there was painting. I'm looking at brushstrokes, figuring out the colors, why the colors, what was, what are all of these connections being made.
Right. I think part of it is art's become so readily available to where it's kind of lost its value to a certain extent to people. And I don't know, it's complicated because I don't want it to become an exclusive thing, but at the same time I want it to have the value that comes with exclusivity, because I think that's the only time people appreciate things, when the access to it is limited. Like, people only care about clothes when it's something that you can only get within a certain tax bracket. People only care about events when you have to get a ticket for it. Think about how many free events there are on Eventbrite that people don't go to because it's like, I can go whenever.
I mean, to be really frank, there's like a large group of people who that wouldn't even affect, because, like, to them an experience doesn't have a value to it, and the money spent also doesn't have a value to it. So it's kind of like I feel like you would get those people regardless, but that's why it's kind of interesting, because you have to build the audience that you want to show up. And once you have the audience that you want, or putting out the artwork that you want, those people might not show up because they're like, oh, that artwork's not for me. Yeah, you're right. It really wasn't for you. I'm glad you didn't show up, because it's not for you. You weren't going to understand it. You weren't going to take the time to look through it. So that is exactly why you make the art that you feel like you need to make. I don't know. I work with charcoal and stuff, but if I wanted to go in my studio tomorrow and be like, I'm going to draw with crayons because I'm connecting to my inner child and letting go of all of the stress of being an artist, I'm going to do that. And I'll be very proud about it. Oh, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It wasn't for you then. You didn't connect to your inner child. You don't understand.
Yeah,
that's fine.
What's the saying? It's like the audience doesn't know what they want until you offer it to them. That whole thing. Because, I mean, if you leave it up to whoever's watching you, they're just gonna ask you to regurgitate the same thing over and over again.
Fair enough, yeah. So I can't let anyone determine what I'm doing. It's just like, yeah, I'm making this art. You want me to make that. But do you know what you really want about it? No, but I know what I want to make.
Yeah. Oh no. But I think part of having to do that is sort of setting up your own events, which is partially why I'm trying to do that now.
Alternative gallery space.
Yeah. You just gotta find it. You gotta find a building. You just have to find a building or a lot or something where you can put things.
I remember Tony talking to us about that.
Yeah. Like, just talk to people trying to sell space, and I'm like, yeah. And like, I mean, I'm kind of implementing that now. It's just Airbnbs now instead of the idea you were referring to. Which, I mean, it comes at a price, but if you're able to figure out a way to get people to fund it, you know, that's all it takes. That's why we were like, Ron was talking about like selling food and like doing a raffle and some other things. That's gonna be like a separate video I'm gonna make talking about the whole process of setting this thing up, because so many steps. So many steps. But
I can imagine.
yeah, which reminds me, I have to hit her up about that too. We were supposed to talk. But
I haven't talked to Ron in a while.
yeah, you should talk to her. She's always got something going on art wise, you know?
Yeah, there's been like murals popping up. And I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do murals, man. What's up?
It's all about connecting with people, you know? But yeah, that's why I was trying to like be adamant about setting up this whole thing, because part of it is, I think, a good chunk of people that are going to come are people that already know who we are. But
Yeah.
I think that's part of the point of this, is just connecting people. At least that's part of the point of it when we were talking about doing it. I don't like expect a turnout from people outside of who we're immediately connected to, but I don't know if that's the point of this first one. I think this first one is just to sort of set a foundation for community and get people to like work together and form connections and create projects together long term, you know?
Yeah. I feel weird because this is where I was like a year or so ago, and now I feel like I've just become kind of isolated. But like, it's a good kind of isolation though, because like I said, I'm figuring out like basically the kind of artist that I want to be at this moment. Like, I'm not the same artist I was like a year ago. So for example, I feel like for me, like, community is very important, but I feel like I need to have something set up so when I show up in community, I know what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my website, and being like, I want to do charcoal right now. Oh, really? You want to do charcoal? I've been doing charcoal too. Let's do something. Like, it's kind of stuff like that. And also, like, if I have a website, like, this is how my brain works, at least when it comes to like the business side of art. But I'm doing my website first so I can have something for all of my social media and everything else that I do to go to.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, I'm just posting on Instagram. Oh, I'm just doing this and it doesn't really have a value. Well, and I also kind of look at it as like a filter a little bit, because each platform, I get a different like community of people.
Yeah.
And that filters out who wants to see more of the artwork and wants to support the actual artwork versus like, oh, I just wanted to know your thoughts on it. Oh, I just wanted to watch this video. Or I just wanted to see a little snippet of it. Versus like, oh, I came to your website and read your bio and now I know who you are and I'm keeping up with your artwork and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I think YouTube really helps with that. This is all just kind of ends up being a bio. Unintentional.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's also like a bit more engaging for people because, you know, people don't like to read as much now.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, and I was like, it's good that because that's why I said I was going to do the videos for context.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to write it like, as artists, we have to do the practice of like writing our statements and stuff like that, and it's like, no one is reading all of that.
You know?
Yeah, like no one's reading all of that. So like, having it, and that's why I've started liking like artist talks. Artist talks are pretty cool too because you get to be in person and ask questions of the artist and stuff like that. But I feel like a YouTube video and an artist talk are like better for context and getting to know the artist a little bit more. Whereas like the show is just like the art.
Right.
And a little bit more personal in the sense that you have to catch the artist at the time.
No, definitely. I think this helps. Like, I think for you, you could probably do. I don't know how talkative you are while working. So.
Not very. I'm like most of the time.
Voiceover, so
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely the type that could just be like, I just did a whole day of working on this drawing or this paint. Like I said, I like write in my sketchbook kind of more than I draw now, and I'm like, so I have a lot of notes, and I've been trying to get in the practice of writing an artist statement every piece of artwork I make, even if I don't plan to show it. It's just like I want to get used to talking about like what I made at that time. So if I have like 2 hours in the studio, I could record a little something afterwards and be like, I made this because of this, or this day I was really struggling to do that, or I had to go figure out how to, I don't know, frame this drawing and measure it, and my charcoal was being like this, but this feels like this to me, and it feels like a reflection of life because we're constantly all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think I have been inspired to start a YouTube video. Now I have a different problem because I feel like I need to set up a new Instagram because my Instagram is just all of my foolishness.
Once you got a backup email, it should be easy.
Yeah. I think the YouTube I've been using, that's just my YouTube, has my artist name.
Yeah, that's what all I did was take my actual and then just videos. I didn't create a whole separate thing for it. Though I probably should, but I don't know. I feel like when people were first doing YouTube, people weren't thinking, let me make a separate one just for the videos.
Yeah.
And
now people have like 7 YouTube accounts.
Not doing all that.
That brings me to another question. How do you feel about having an art alias versus like just having your name as the artist? Because I had an artist when I was working at the gallery basically asked me the question, do you want people to know your alias or know you?
Yeah, I've never done the alias thing. It's never been. First off, I'm just bad at coming up with names for things. That's not like the name for this is so straightforward because I just said, what am I doing? What am I talking about? And so I'm not a good namer of things for one, and two, I don't know, having to do the whole alias thing, it feels like I'm having to be like, these are two separate entities, and like, no, because I mean the only way I'm really ever front facing is when I'm talking about art. Other than that, I'm generally a private person, so I don't know, that conflict never really pops up. I feel like most people that do the alias thing are people who have to separate because they might be like front facing on two different things. Like how Donald Glover had like Childish Gambino, and then it was Donald Glover, like because he was doing the TV thing and the music thing, and now he's like, it's all kind of just one person now. So I don't need the Childish Gambino thing anymore. But I mean, some people like will do a stage name because they want to be able to like operate in their real lives the same. But I'm like, people are still gonna like see you, so I don't know. I guess it's like people, you don't want to hear someone random on the street calling you by your real name, and then you like, do I know you? I guess there's that. But...
See, that's kind of why when I made my art name now, like that I use now, I kind of made it in the sense that like it's still my name, but it's just like I'm letting you know that I am that particular artist that you were thinking about. Yeah, KenThatArtist. I am that person who was just Ken. Yes. Yeah. I've been thinking about going by my like regular name though, just because I don't know. I feel like it fits my growth as an artist, but at the same time, KenThatArtist still feels correct.
Okay. I was checking to make sure I had my keys. I got scared because I was feeling my pocket and didn't feel anything.
Felt a little light.
Yeah. I got scared. But nah, I definitely get what you mean. I don't know. because everything I make is personal to a certain degree. It's not like I'm making things specifically for commercial use, so it's all me, if that makes any sense.
Yep, that makes so much sense. I have, like, okay, for a little bit of context, our first recording was a lot about vulnerability. Because I was, like, making a lot of vulnerable art. But, like, yeah, I definitely get that because, and that's kind of why I started making vulnerable art in the first place, because of this idea that, like, this is just me. I understand that people are showing up for me and my artwork, and also I have this certain value of myself as an artist that's like, if you don't like me, how can you like my artwork? Because my artwork is a reflection of me,
Right.
but also my art is a little bit separate from me, so to each his own. But that's why, like, my connection to my artwork is like, I've been thinking about this lately. I'm like, my artwork is kind of like my journal. Like, it's kind of strange. It's just like all of my thoughts that I have, and I just put them out physically and visually.
Yeah.
And then I show that to people.
I think that's part of the reason that I think that's the whole reason I do art, is because it's a place to be honest when most people don't really like honesty.
I literally made a sketch about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I have a sketch that's kind of like, this is probably going to change anyway, so I don't really care talking about it. But I made a sketch yesterday that's kind of like me opening my mouth, but like it's like TV cords coming out of my mouth, and there's different versions of me with like TV heads, and they all have like a different channel playing.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like all of the different perspectives that I have and I say, but it's going to be a diptych in the sense that, like, those TVs are getting smashed by other people because you don't like what I'm saying or my perspective. So it feels like you're killing my ideas and my channels and my views to get to a different one. And then the other picture would be all of those different TV heads kind of like covering my mouth to protect the cords and to protect themselves and the channel that they have. And it's like, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. And that's also why I make art, because like you said, it's like the place I can be honest. I don't have to like shut my mouth about what I want to say. If I wanted to talk about, like, I don't know, for example, Katrina, heavy topic, but I could talk about that and no one would be like, you can't talk about that. What do you mean I can't talk about that? This is my artwork.
Right. Definitely got what you mean. I think generally I'm just trying to be more honest just in life, but I think it all started with art for me, because who's gonna tell you anything of that? You know, like, are you gonna make me stop painting?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Hello.
Do you guys have a photo permit? So to have extra camera equipment like a tripod, we ask you to buy like photo permits in the museum just for the CN. But you can have the camera, just not the extra equipment.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll take it off.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Learn something new every day, man.
Well, that's like the little pause I needed. I wanted to like exchange contacts with you because I really like what you're doing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And I actually got to hear it before. I just was like, what is this? What you're doing? Yeah. What's up? So you're a charcoal painter or drawer? I'm sorry.
I'm like, I work with charcoal and painting. And this is my friend Don. This is like his thing. He's like,
Okay.
he's like setting up videos and podcasts. And he's like connecting with artists to kind of talk with them, learn about artwork with them, and kind of like connect everyone in a sense.
Okay.
Like in the city, and just talk to other artists.
Well, alright, so I know y'all are probably wondering what happens after the video cuts off, because it was kind of abrupt and it's not our usual outro. And no, that wasn't staged. You kind of need permission to record in certain parts of the park. I completely forgot about that though. But interestingly enough, I know you probably see there's a guy in the background. I think I'll cover up his face just because I mean, he knew the camera was there, obviously, based off. But there's a guy that kind of just sits in the background for a minute, and we were all kind of initially the both of us were both initially all put by it. We were just trying to figure out what was going on.
I'm like, bro, what you on?
So, eventually, after the lady stops us from recording, we don't ever really go back to recording, but I wish I would have gotten this part recorded. But luckily enough, I recorded the audio. Like, I thought I had stopped the audio as well, but I got a bit of it. So I'll insert a clip of a bit of what we were talking about before I cut it off. But it kind of goes back to the whole conversation we were having about networking. Like, you never know when or where you'll meet someone that's sort of in a similar place or space as you. And so this guy ends up being like a music producer, and he like says that he does like he's trying to get into interior design stuff. And so we all like connected, exchanged Instagrams, and chatted for a bit, just talking about sort of the struggles that comes with like operating as an artist in sort of this post-COVID world and things like that, you know. So I honestly, we were kind of laughing about it because it's so ironic that we were just having this conversation, and then, you know, you stumble upon someone who's in a similar space, and really he wouldn't have ever known about anything that we were doing or even talking about if it wasn't for the fact that he noticed the camera and was interested enough to stop and talk to us. So it's really one of those moments where you just have to put yourself out there, put yourself forward, and see what happens. And, you know, so if there's one thing I want y'all to take away from this, you know, just try it and see what happens. You know, obviously we talked about a lot of the struggles that comes with that, but I think the through line throughout all of it is sometimes you just gotta do you, and just be consistent and be headstrong in doing you. Obviously don't be a person that can't like take in criticisms of any sort, but you know, you have to stay on your path essentially, and things will work out one way or another. You know, you never know the person that you'll meet or what sort of opportunities may come your way just by being you and putting yourself forward and seeing who connects with what you have going on. So no matter what, you know, stay on your path. Your path is your path. Your journey is your journey. And yeah, y'all be safe. I'll check in with y'all in the next video. And until next time, it's been Don. It's been Art Talk. I'll put all Ken's links and stuff in the description. Check out his stuff. He does really good work. And peace.